the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark, unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune and turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. In shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go.
Each individual will adopt a course of action that will involve the expenditure of the probably least average of his work, by definition, least effort. George Kingsley, Zipf, Human Behavior and the Principle of Least Effort, An Introduction to Human Ecology, p. 18, Addison Wesley, 1949. George Kingsley, Zipf, 1902–1950, was an American linguist and philologist best known for his statistical analysis of language, which led to the formulation of Zipf's law. Born in Freeport, Illinois, he earned his bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees from Harvard University, though he also studied at the University of Bonn and the University of Berlin. He served as chairman of the German department and as a university lecturer at Harvard, holding the unique distinction of being able to teach any subject he chose. George Kingsley Zipf was born on January 7, 1902, in Freeport, Illinois, in the family home at 33 North Whistler. His father, Oscar Robert Zipf, born in Kankakee, Illinois, in 1866, was a lawyer who graduated from Michigan Law School in 1889 and practiced in Salt Lake City, Utah, before moving to Freeport, Illinois, in 1897, where he also served a 2-year term as county judge. His mother was Maria Louisa Bogardus. The Zipf family had German roots. His paternal grandfather, Frederick Sebastian Zipf, was born in Tauberbischofsheim, Germany, and immigrated to America around 1850. Zipf graduated summa cum laude from Harvard College in 1924, a testament to his early academic prowess. Following his undergraduate studies, he spent a year in Germany, furthering his education at the universities of Bonn and Berlin. He then returned to Harvard, where he continued his advanced studies, earning both his Master of Arts A.M. and Doctor of Philosophy Ph.D. degrees in comparative philology. This rigorous and international academic background in language and philology would form the bedrock of his later groundbreaking work in statistical linguistics. Zipf married Joyce Ayres in 1927, and they had 2 children, Joyce and Robert. Zipf's academic career at Harvard University was marked by a unique blend of departmental leadership and an unusually broad teaching mandate. He served as the chairman of the German department from 1930 to 1938, a significant administrative role for someone so early in their career. However, his influence extended far beyond this specific department. He also held the distinctive position of university lecturer, a role that allowed him to teach virtually any subject he chose, reflecting the breadth of his intellectual interests and the confidence Harvard placed in his capabilities. This flexibility enabled him to explore and develop his interdisciplinary theories, drawing connections between linguistics, psychology, sociology, and economics. This period was highly productive for Zipf, as he began to develop and publish the ideas that would culminate in his most famous contributions. His early work focused on linguistic analysis, and he published selected studies of the principle of relative frequency in language in 1932. This was a foundational text for his later work, introducing the statistical approach to language that would define his legacy. This initial research laid the groundwork for the more comprehensive articulation of his eponymous law. George Kingsley Zipf, in his 1935 work, observed what is now known as Zipf's law, stating that in a large text, the frequency of a word is inversely proportional to its rank. For example, the second most frequent word appears about half as often as the most frequent one. Later, in the 1950s, Benoit Mandelbrot refined this empirical observation with the Zipf-Mandelbrot law, introducing additional parameters to account for deviations at the extremes of word frequencies and providing a theoretical justification based on information theory, suggesting that the distribution arises from an optimization of communication efficiency. Building on these early studies, his magnum opus, Psychobiology of Language, was published in 1935. In this seminal work, Zipf formally introduced and extensively detailed what would become known as Zipf's law. This law posits that in a given body of text, the frequency of any word is inversely proportional to its rank in the frequency distribution. For example, the most frequent word occurs roughly twice as often as the second most frequent word, 3 times as often as the third, and so on. This observation was not merely descriptive but was presented as a manifestation of a deeper, underlying principle of least effort in language. Zipf argued that both the speaker and the listener strive for efficiency, and this inherent drive shapes the statistical properties of language. The book explored the implications of this principle not only for linguistics but also for understanding human behavior more broadly, hinting at the interdisciplinary reach that would characterize his later work. These initial publications established Zipf as a pioneering figure in the quantitative study of language, long before the advent of modern computational linguistics. Expanding beyond the confines of pure linguistics, George Kingsley Zipf dedicated the latter part of his career to demonstrating the pervasive nature of his principle of least effort across various human endeavors. His work during this period sought to establish universal laws governing human behavior by applying the statistical methods he had refined in his linguistic studies. A significant outcome of this expanded focus was his 1941 book, National Unity and Disunity: The Nation as a Biosocial Organism. In this ambitious work, Zipf applied his statistical methods to analyze demographic data, income distribution, and other socio-economic factors. He proposed that a nation could be viewed as a biosocial organism where different parts interact according to principles of least effort. Most notably, he theorized that significant deviations from the normal curve of income distribution which, in his view, followed a Zipfian pattern could indicate underlying social pressures and potential for instability or even revolution. This interdisciplinary leap showcased his conviction that the same fundamental principles observed in language also govern broader societal structures. His most comprehensive and influential work exploring these broader applications was Human Behavior and the Principle of Least Effort, An Introduction to Human Ecology, published in 1949, just a year before his untimely death. This book was a culmination of his efforts to establish a unified theory of human behavior. Zipf argued that across a wide range of human activities, from language acquisition and usage to economic decisions, the structure of cities, and even the organization of societies, individuals and groups inherently strive to minimize effort. He presented extensive empirical data from diverse fields, including the sizes of cities, the distribution of scientific papers, and the frequency of various social phenomena, all of which he argued conformed to his principle of least effort and, consequently, exhibited Zipfian distributions. This magnum opus solidified his position as a pioneering figure in quantitative social science and human ecology, long before these fields became established disciplines. His work, though sometimes controversial in its sweeping generalizations, laid the groundwork for later studies in complex systems, urban planning, and the quantitative analysis of social phenomena, demonstrating the enduring relevance of his least effort principle beyond its linguistic origins. Zipf's work predated but aligned closely with Claude Shannon's development of information theory in 1948. Zipf's law suggests that language optimizes the trade-off between effort using fewer words and clarity ensuring meaning is conveyed. This idea influenced later work in information theory, particularly in understanding how languages balance redundancy and efficiency. Though George Kingsley Zipf passed away relatively young in 1950, his intellectual legacy, particularly the concept now universally known as Zipf's law and his broader principle of least effort, continued to gain traction and exert influence long after his death. His work, initially viewed by some as eccentric or overly generalized, proved to be remarkably prescient in an era increasingly dominated by data-driven analysis and the rise of computational power. Following his death, the academic world began to fully appreciate the statistical rigor and predictive power of Zipf's observations. His ideas were foundational to the nascent field of information theory, which emerged in the mid-20th century. Researchers recognized that the highly skewed frequency distributions observed in language, as described by Zipf's law, had profound implications for understanding the efficiency of communication systems. This understanding was crucial for developing early algorithms in data compression and information retrieval, as it highlighted the disproportionate importance of high-frequency items versus low-frequency items. Zipf's law inspired research into scale-free networks, where a few nodes, e.g. websites, social media accounts, have many connections, while most have few, following a power law distribution. This has been critical in understanding the structure of the Internet, social networks, and biological networks. Albert Laszlo Barabási's work on network theory in the late 1990s, particularly the concept of preferential attachment where popular nodes gain more connections, was partly inspired by Zipf's observations of skewed distributions in human systems. In the realm of computational linguistics and natural language processing (NLP), Zipf's law became a cornerstone. It provided a fundamental statistical model for how words are distributed in texts, which is essential for tasks such as corpus analysis, dictionary creation, and the design of language models. For instance, the law explains why a relatively small vocabulary accounts for a large percentage of word tokens in any given text, a fact that has significant implications for system efficiency and resource allocation in NLP applications. In modern machine learning, Zipf's law is critical for tasks like text pre-processing and tokenization. For example, it informs decisions about vocabulary size in natural language processing models, as a small number of words, e.g. the, and account for a disproportionate amount of text, allowing algorithms to prioritize high-frequency terms for efficiency. Beyond linguistics, the principle of least effort and the ubiquity of Zipfian distributions were rediscovered and applied across a vast array of disciplines. In urban studies and geography, researchers found that the sizes of cities within a region often follow a Zipfian distribution, leading to the development of rank size rules. In economics, the distribution of wealth, company sizes, and even the frequency of stock market transactions were found to exhibit similar power law distributions, echoing Zipf's earlier work on income. In sociology, the spread of innovations, the popularity of cultural items, and the structure of social networks sometimes align with Zipfian patterns. Even in ecology, the distribution of species abundance in an ecosystem can sometimes be modeled using similar statistical laws. Zipf's observation that city sizes follow a rank size rule where the largest city is roughly twice as populous as the second, 3 times the third, etc., inspired the development of urban scaling laws. This has been used in urban planning to model population distributions, infrastructure needs, and economic activity. Geographers like Walter Christaller and economists studying central place theory drew on Zipf's ideas to explain the hierarchical organization of cities and settlements, influencing urban development models. Hyperbolic distributions are to the social sciences what the Gaussian distribution is to the physical sciences. George Zipf. While George Kingsley Zipf is highly celebrated for his groundbreaking contributions, his most significant direct honor was a Guggenheim Fellowship for Natural Sciences, US and Canada. The true measure of his recognition, however, lies in the enduring influence of Zipf's law and the principle of least effort across an extraordinary range of disciplines. The fact that a fundamental principle is named after him, and continues to be extensively studied and applied decades after his passing, serves as his most profound and lasting academic honor. References: Leach, Matthew 2010, A Pocket Guide to Risk Mathematics, Key Concepts Every Auditor Should Know, John Wiley & Sons, p. 62, ISBN 9780470971468. Zipf dies after 3-month illness, The Harvard Crimson, September 27, 1950. Sayashev, A.I. Malvernia, Yannick, Sornet, Didier 2009, Theory of Zipf's Law and Beyond, Lecture Notes in Economics and Mathematical Systems, Volume 632, Springer, p1, ISBN 9783642029462. Bien, R. Harold 2002, Word Frequency Distributions, Text, Speech, and Language Technology, Volume 18, Springer, p13, ISBN 9781402009273.
Mics on the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no frame, just the sound we crave. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Hidden in shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just the beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go. Pure and raw. Pure and raw. Silence break, raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break, raw, the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Pure and raw. Zipf.